What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, two-division world champion, lightweight, WBA, regular world champion, superstar boxer, Gervonta Tank Davis, did an interview with Brian Custer on Last Chance podcast, in which he discussed, obviously, his upcoming mega showdown with four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Leo Santa Cruz, right? So Gervonta Tank Davis discussed the obvious that everybody, the elephant in the room, so to speak, that everybody is wondering about. That's the fact that Gervonta Tank Davis moved up to 135 and he missed weight in his mega showdown with Yuriorkis Gamboa in Atlanta, which he headlined, right? Gervonta Tank Davis missed weight on a Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor undercard as the co-main event and lost his belts on the scale. So that created a cloud and a stigma that Gervonta Tank Davis struggles making weight, and that Gervonta Tank Davis, isn't disciplined outside the ring. As we see, he obviously in between fights he gains weight, he balloons up in weight. So with that said, he has this jacket has been placed on him with the fact that everybody feels like he has lack of discipline outside the ring, and he enjoys, the fruits of his labor outside the ring far too much, which hinders him on the scales, right? Because I can't say it hinders him in the ring because he hasn't lost in the ring. He hasn't looked vulnerable in the ring, right? But he hasn't fought the upper echelon in and around his weight class. So now he's going to fight a guy that's very, very active in Leo Santa Cruz, who throws record-breaking numbers of punches during his fights. He is going to face a guy that is seasoned, that is a four-division world champion, and is currently the 130-pound world champion right now, currently. So this is who he's going up against in Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz highlighted the fact that he believes that Gervonta Tank Davis will gas out by the fifth round due to the pace that Leo Santa Cruz plans to set against Gervonta Tank Davis. So let's get to this interview he did, in which Brian Custer asked him about the weight, the elephant in the room. He said, everybody wants to know, are you going to be able to make 130 after going up to 135 and struggling to make 135, missing weight? So Gervonta Tank Davis had this to say. He says, yes, I'm going to make the weight. He says the problem with it is that it's not that I'm not disciplined. So again, let me get back to this though. But Brian Custer asked him, do you have discipline issues outside the ring? Of course he's going to say no. But Brian Custer asked him, does he have discipline issues outside the ring? Does he have a hard time staying focused and, staying on a diet and such and watching his weight? And he says no, obviously. And then he goes on to say the issue that he has is that when it comes down to those 2 to 3 pounds the week of the fight, is that he's always consistently missing the weight. Well, that says that you have discipline issues, because the week of the fight, if you're having trouble missing, getting 2 to 3 pounds off. Now, some people have issues because there's just no more water. There's just no more. You start to deplete your muscle, right? So you don't want to do that. So he says that, that's the issue. That's the main issue. Also, he stated that, he understands from Leo Santa Cruz interviews and the things that he believes that Leo Santa Cruz, his approach is going to be to this fight, is that Leo Santa Cruz is going to try to pressure him, push the fight. He says like Jose Pedraza did. He says because they feel like, I'm hurting myself to make weight, and my body's going to give by the second half of the fight. So I started training camp far, more than 12 weeks out to give myself enough time to make weight. Well, that lets us know that you have stamina issues. That lets us know you have discipline issues outside the ring, because Floyd Mayweather never needed to start training camp that early to make weight. Devin the Dream Haney, undefeated WBC lightweight superstar boxer. We never hear him having to start training camps 12 to 14 weeks outside of his fight to have to make sure that he doesn't have stamina issues due to the fact that he has to cut so much weight. Then he goes on to say that, this fight, his life depends on it. He says, my life depends on making weight, so you best believe I'm going to make weight. He said, I'm going to make weight the first time out. Now, to his defense, in the Yuriorkis Gamboa fight, he did make weight the second time, but he had to have a second weigh-in to make weight. So he's saying the first time, the first go-round, he will absolutely make weight for this Leo Santa Cruz fight. He says that, my life depends on it. This lets you know that obviously legendary 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king, surefire Hall of Famer, Floyd Money Mayweather turned promoter and CEO of Mayweather Promotions, who promotes Gervonta Tank Davis, there's pressure on him. That's the reason why Gervonta Tank Davis has relocated from his usual training in Baltimore, Maryland, to Las Vegas now, right? Because he understands the magnitude of this fight. He understands what's at stake. He understands that people are looking at him and saying, well, he has all the talent, but if he don't put it together outside of the ring and on the scales, it's going to be a talent that's wasted. So he's stating that, his life depends on him making weight. He's stating that if he don't make weight, he feels like he's in serious trouble. So, this just lets you know everything you need to know. You understand? So let's listen to what he had to say.
I gotta make and things like that. So prepare for this fight between fights. Yes, sir. I think that, and that's just not me. I think it's just athlete period, boxers period. Sometimes we enjoy ourselves too much in a long period of time. But that's why I gave myself 12 weeks, to prepare for this fight and not 8 weeks. Because I know what I'm coming into. I know what weight I gotta go to. I gotta make and things like that. So it's athlete period that need to stay on top of that grind and things like that. Because once at first when you coming up to before you get the money and all that, you still on the grind.
So you see, he said that he had to give himself 12 weeks because he know the weight that he has to make. He's going down. A lot of people didn't understand and were flabbergasted at the fact that Floyd Mayweather chose to have this fight at 130. But Leo Santa Cruz was very strict and very stern and standing on the square saying if this fight was going to come to fruition, that he absolutely was going to have to come down to 130. He was not prepared to go up to 135. Leo Santa Cruz said that I'm not going to be forced up to 135. So Leo Santa Cruz stated that, so let's listen to what he had to say.
I'll be at weight coming to the week of the fight. It just them lower pounds will get a little harder at the end.
Do you have to maybe change some of the things that you do in between fights?
It just at the end when it's time, it's me cutting down to the weight at the club, discipline problem. It just like again when I told you, it's just me cutting down to the weight at a certain time. That's the only thing at the end of camp. It's not what I'm doing in camp. It's just at the end when it's time to shed them 2 or 3 pounds off. I'll be at weight coming to the week of the fight. It just them lower pounds will get a little harder at the end.
Do you have
so you understand?
you know this will go viral.
My life is depend on it.
You see,
those days of missing weight
he said,
you.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna make the weight. Yes, my life is depend on it, and if I'm gonna make the weight.
So you see, he's saying my life depends on it. His focus. We see him in training camp wearing a full sauna suit, right? We never, like I said, clearly he's saying at the end of his training camp is where he has the issues with making the weight. Well, I believe there's one or two things because he's not the most muscular guy in the world. And if you have a lot of muscle, I understand that you don't want to deplete your muscle mass. But the fact is, he's having weight loss camps. And right now, he still has about nearly a little over about 8 weeks right now still. And he's wearing a sauna suit top and bottom, right? Because his lack of discipline in between fights. And he ballooned up in weight. That's where the discipline issue comes in. You have to stay in and around your weight, in between fights, right? So him trying to make that weight the week of fight week is what's hurting him, because he has depleted so much of his body at that time. His body is in distress and is calling for water. You understand? It's calling for fluid. So it's holding the water because your organs need the water. So what's happening is, because he's depleting so much water over such a long period of time, the body is telling him, we can't dehydrate anymore, right? It's becoming detrimental to us. That's what your organs are starting to say. They're starting to scream at you. So they're going to hold on to that last little bit of water that you have in your body, because your body needs that. Your body's made up of water. So at the end is where he's having the issues, because of so much of a long period of time that he's depleting himself and depriving himself of the water and trying to get rid of all that water weight. That's the issue. If he stayed in and around the weight, he would be allowed to be able to ingest water and fluids on a normal basis, which allow his organs to be able to flush out excess water, thus allowing him to flush out excess weight. That's where the issue comes in. It's clear that his focus is weight loss and not game planning. And that could become a problem when you're dealing with a guy the magnitude of Leo Santa Cruz. But the fact that I told you guys, I thought that Gervonta Tank Davis was more focused. I think that, he understands what's at stake, and the fact that he's saying his life depends on it. I think that once he gets past this situation with Leo Santa Cruz, as I expect him to, I think that from moving forward, I think he may have learned his lesson and he won't have these weight loss camps anymore. So let's see how this all plays out. But I'm expecting him to show up and show out on Leo Santa Cruz due to style. Stylistically, Leo Santa Cruz is not the most disciplined guy on defense. And Gervonta Tank Davis is explosive, athletic. And like you say, he gave himself 12 weeks. So he will have stamina. He's just in camp longer than, normal for, most guys that keep themselves in somewhat fighting shape and keep themselves somewhat near the division, their division they're fighting in and competing in. So let's see how this all plays out. But drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.